Hello, fiends, friends, and familiars. I don't know if you've heard the news, but hey, everybody, we've got Joe Bob Briggs and Darcy the Mail Girl here today to have spend a little bit of time with us ahead of their Nightmareathon debuting on Shudder this Friday, August 30th at 9 p.m. Eastern, celebrating 6 years, 6 seasons of The Last Drive-In, and with 6 films. So thank you so much, Joe Bob and Darcy, for taking some time to speak with us today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're happy to be here.
Well, me as well. Again, as I told you all before I hit record, this is a horror hero moment for me. So I'm going to dive right into the questions. Over the last 6 years that The Last Drive-In has been playing on Shudder, what are some of the fondest memories you all have of that time together?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, good first.
Oh no.
Um,
Defer to you, sir.
gosh, I think I don't know, memorable times, like one of a kind times, like the
There's definitely a lot of those.
well, when we did the wedding chapel marriage,
Ooh,
when we
yeah.
when we married a couple in Las Vegas, and we showed the movie Necromantic, and
Yeah.
and it was a tough assignment because the bride's family was there, and
They were not happy.
and they were and her mother was on the front row
Crying.
at the
Like,
wedding chapel.
this
She
is
was
not what I pictured for my daughter.
Yeah, they were not. She was crying, and they were not tears of emotion. They were tears of.
I don't think you can count that as fondness,
Well,
That's why we're confused.
it's like it's one of those things you never forget. You know.
There's a lot of stuff you will not forget.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
about you?
who doesn't have necrophilia in their wedding plans? Let's be honest, right?
Right.
I love that they did that.
They over the moon about their wedding movie, but their family low. So, um,
Sorry to
gosh,
jump in. Joe Bob and Darcy, I think your connection might be a little broken. Are you guys in a weird spot? Matt, are you hearing
no,
that?
Yeah, I'm picking up a little bit of static, but
Okay,
hope,
well, let's
no,
see how it
hopefully,
goes.
hopefully it doesn't persist. But yeah, I mean, there have been so many moments I can think of. The Hogzilla moments in particular that still persist, especially on the
Good call.
Patreon and the Discord chat, which I'm fully decked out in my Patreon gear, my Joe Bob Cracker Barrel
Aw, thank
mug.
you.
So what can folks expect during the Nightmareathon on Friday?
well, they can expect 6 movies that are all very different. It's a mishmash, which is what I think a marathon should be. It's like, you know, you know, so it should be a roller coaster of emotion. And of course, we have guests dropping in. We have Rhonda Shear dropping, and we have Melissa Rose dropping in, and we have some other people dropping in.
Our
So
friend.
yeah, and friends of the show.
You can
And
expect insanity because literally it's going so long. There's no way it's not going to be
yeah, we're
unhinged.
gonna have to think of things to do. So
I love it. We've got an up all night expert and a penis expert. So I think folks will be nice and satisfied during the marathon. And I
I feel
know
like there are a few penis experts in that channel. Just saying.
multiple penis experts. You heard it here first, folks. But I'm curious to know, obviously assuming that there is kind of always an end to certain things at some point, but I'm assuming that all things go the way you want them to. How much longer would you both like to continue doing The Last Drive-In?
I would be happy to do it as long as people want to see it. Um, it's it, it evolves. It's not the same show that it was the first season, and it evolves
For better or worse.
for better or worse, and it evolves out of what the fans like, and I tend to repeat the things that the fans like, and so and actually I've done the same show 3 times. I did the show, I did it on the movie
Right?
channel, and I did it on Monster Vision on TNT, and I've done this show but they're all very different shows. But what they are is they're evolved versions of the same show, and so it's just grown organically over a period of, gosh, several decades, and it continues to evolve that way. And I like it and I hate it. Well, it's as it evolves, it becomes more difficult to deliver. It becomes more difficult to do.
So be sort of a challenge.
Yeah, but I'm good. I'm down for it. I'm doing it, and so you make it difficult.
What?
You're like, what's the theme? What are we gonna do? Well, I'm gonna talk about the
I
movie.
make sure you're
Well,
not,
we have to do more than
I
that.
make sure you're not lazy.
I say, Darcy, you kind of
So,
you keep the card on the track, if you know what I mean, because I love a good
Thank you.
digression
Yes,
like
I
anybody else
try.
does. but but I always appreciate the Darcy acknowledgments of it's time to go back to the movie. But again, Joe Bob, I think many of us would agree that we could listen to you talk about pretty much anything for as long as you'd
Okay.
like. So
but
But
here,
the crew can only be there for so long.
right.
At some point, we have to hush him.
Well,
well,
you're doing a great job,
what?
Darcy.
But I'll tell you what Darcy adds to the show, though.
Oh, please. I can't wait
Behind
to hear that.
no, well, we have to do something more special than that. We have to do something more elaborate than that. And she makes me think about it. And we do have things that are more elaborate.
Always, there's times when it's fine to just be normal. But there's times when we should make it more of a celebration and a bigger deal, especially like he did not realize that like Halloween should be a big deal. Are you kidding me? He's like, we don't do anything. It's Halloween. What? It's just look at his old shows. He started having stuff.
I mean, that and Valpurgis
We're
right? I
having a
mean,
show on like Easter. We have to do an Easter show. You know what I mean? So like that kind of stuff. I don't let him get away with just like.
No, the word you use is exactly the right word. Celebration. You always want it to be a celebration, and that is a good attitude to have. And it makes me, rethink about how to shape the shows and everything, and that's a really good thing.
I mean, once in a while you can be boring. I'll allow it.
I mean, I think the continued evolution of the show is a testament to the resilience of the horror community and the people that support it, like the both of you. So my last question for you is one that, I don't know how difficult it is, but I even had a hard time thinking of an answer for myself, which is, why won't the drive-in ever die?
Well, the drive-in will never die because it's two things that Americans love: cars and movies. and
True.
Whenever you can marry those two things, there are who have not been to a drive-in in 30 years, but remember that time 30 years ago fondly.
I always see it more as like the drive-in spirit is kind of how I interpret it. Like that will never die.
And also
Right.
we've created a meaning for the word drive-in movie, which is it's a certain kind of movie that is not mainstream. And so people will there will always be an audience for that as well.
Blood, breast, and beast. That will never die.
Yeah. That's right. Blood, breast, and beast.
It's true. And again, it's thanks to platforms like Shudder that that the drive-in can have an outlet to continue thriving in. Because I think we were all, I speak for the broader community in saying that when Shudder announced they were bringing you back, Joe Bob, it felt like, this is what people have been asking for. And with the inclusion of you, Darcy, as the mail girl, I think, again, I speak from our Macabre Daily standpoint in saying that we hope that the drive-in doesn't die anytime soon or ever, and that we continue to get the Last Drive-in as often as we can. I know it can be difficult to plan and coordinate these things and think of new movies. So I just want to end things by saying thank you both so much for the time and also for the 6 years and more. And for everyone else watching this, please tune into Shudder on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern for the Nightmareathon. 6 movies, 6 seasons, celebrating 6 years of the drive-in on Shudder. Can't wait to see what we're going to be watching, and hopefully I make it through. I'm going to be 40 next year, so all-nighters are not as easy as they used to be.
Joe,
40.
Joe Bob staying up. You got this.
I know. Yeah, I was gonna say that's
You
my
got
always that's
you.
always my excuse.
All right.
You're
Thank,
very
Thank you
kind.
both so
Thank
much.
you.
yeah.
It's my pleasure.
All
Again, my
right.
honor as
Thank
well.
you for
Enjoy the
those
rest of the
kind
talking
words.
tour.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
All right.
Matt.
Thank you.
Right.
Bye.